So without any delay, I'm going to pass you over to Derek to tell you his little story and continue with tonight's training. Looking forward to it.
Thank you very much. And today is a training as opposed to a presentation, so hopefully all of you are members. Okay, good. Well, what I wanted to do today is do a bit of role play that we were going to do, and we worked out. And on the basis that I've done quite a lot of research with the team, with the group, and funnily enough, even us long-termers, I've been in the industry about 25, 30 years now, 35 years actually, before computers were around. And it's funny, we learn things along the way, and we don't always remember things sometimes the way we were taught. And what I found out since I've been involved with Epic, and I've got close to 200 people in the organization, is that a lot of people have actually contacted and invited people, but because their skill set's not that good, they've had a few challenges. Generally, people who are well connected or have a good influential circle don't have too much of a problem initially. But then you see, the thing is, as it goes through, as people come through, we feel that there is a definite need for training. And the company, in fact, launched this Saturday their training as well. So every Saturday we have a corporate training, which is also coincidentally going along the same lines we are. But we actually started doing the training a bit before them. And we felt the need was there. Renton, myself, and a few others who have that background from the industry a long time ago know that that's the glue that sticks it all together, especially as it grows into larger numbers where you're not able to keep in touch with your team, your downline. Then it's good to have a system in place that you know is helping people. So what we're going to do today, we were going to kick off with a trip around the back office, but unfortunately our lady who does that is in South Africa, and they've got an outage at the moment. They have outages every now and then in different parts of South Africa, and unfortunately it's her turn today. So she's unable to do it, but we will do a training on that at a later date. So we will definitely cover that. And that'll be just a quick trip around the back office to show you what you've got, where everything is. So we'll carry on with what we were going to do, and Brent and I are going to do a quick intro and role play on inviting, well, not inviting, on talking to people, actually greeting and qualifying them. And what we're doing, we're not doing, when I say role play, we're not going to do a live role play as such as imagine we were or weren't the people that were listening. What we're going to do is a role play with advice and guidance and different aspects of it. So we break it down into smaller bite-sized pieces. You can then, this is being recorded, so you can then follow that role play and the screenshots we've done and things like that, so that you can use them for your own people at a later date and for yourselves, obviously. Some of it was quite interesting when we actually did this a while ago, that we actually found out we got little gentle reminders of what we should be doing. So let's kick off with this then. Let me just share my screen. So if you imagine Renton's going to be the prospect, and I'm going to be the person who's in the business calling him. So what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be talking about, let me just turn my video off. It puts me off watching myself. Hold on a second. Okay. Right. So we're going to do first prospecting calls. So these are prospects that you've either been given a number for, or somebody who's actually got some basic idea of what they want, but they don't really know. It might be a cold call as well. So it can apply to all of them. So it's the greet and qualify, and these are the first two steps of inviting formula. What we're hoping to do is break down each section, like the inviting and the follow-up and the follow-through. We're going to hopefully break them all down into bite-sized pieces so that you can actually appreciate it in a bigger way and get the psychology behind it all. Okay, where's my screen not moving? Okay, here we go. Okay, so the purpose of greeting is to get a prospect willing to talk freely and openly to you. Now, one of the things that you ought to think about when you're actually talking to new prospects is actually think about them as you're coming into their lives to help them, as opposed to this prospect is going to help me make more money. I know most of you won't be thinking like that, but just try and get into the zone where you're actually thinking about people from a point of view that they're actually going to be helped by you to make a difference in their own lives. So talking freely and openly is an important bit. The purpose of qualify after the greeting is to find out what the prospect needs are, wants are, and doesn't want as they pertain to your business. When you've mastered the skill of greeting and qualifying, you'll find that you can easily have a conversation with anyone and not feel like you're annoying them or being too pushy or pushing your business on them. Get good at this, and it'll help you in more ways than you know. Not just in recruiting, but in general. Okay, so here we go then. So Renton, you do your bit, and I'll do mine. So, hi, this is Derek Tellis here. Can I speak to Renton, please? And I phoned him. Renton, are you there? I bet he switched himself off. Hold on a second. I'll get this open. Okay, where are you? Why did you switch yourself off? Okay, there you go, Renton.
Because of background noise, I had to mute for a minute.
Okay, great. All right. So I've called you. Ring, ring.
Hello, hello.
Hi, this is Derek Tellis here, Renton. Is that who I'm speaking to?
Renton speaking, yes.
Okay, I'm glad to have reached you, Renton. You recently completed a short questionnaire on the internet requesting information about working from home. Is that right?
Oh yeah, that was yesterday. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, that's good. Well, it's great that you're actually done that. I've just wanted to take a few minutes to talk with you about it, about the company that we're involved in and the opportunity we have to offer. I'd also like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
and see if this is a good fit for you. Okay, great, brilliant. Okay, well, perfect. So tell me, Renton, what do you do? What do you do? Are you working currently or not?
Yeah, I'm a chef by trade, and although I only work part time, I'm also furloughed from that. So I kind of lost a bit of my main income from that. Plus, ironically, I started a chef agency business in January, which I thought was going to do well, but obviously that fell flat on its face, But, so that hasn't done very well either. So I was kind of looking what else I could do from home, really. So I started searching.
Okay. So they're not all working very well for you. Okay, so tell me, how long has the chef agency, did you say, been running?
Well, I launched it in January.
Yeah.
It cost me about 3,500 to build a website and do some marketing. But unfortunately, the whole country restaurant-wise shut down in March, didn't it? So that didn't really take off too well.
Okay. No, that's not very nice to hear. I know it's happening everywhere, actually. Okay, so would you mind telling me why you are actually interested in starting a home-based business?
Well, I'm approaching. Well, I'm 62 now, and I'm approaching that age where I don't really think that my state pension is actually going to do me much good. It's probably only going to be about 2/3 of what I'm used to living on, and I don't really want to. I don't really want to spend my next 10 years having to stay at home because I can't afford to travel. And my goal is really to have enough income to do a bit of traveling around the world.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, well, I can see where you're coming from, Renton. With regards the current situation in the world, it's very frustrating at the moment. There's a lot of us going through different scenarios. I myself I'm actually a chef consultant, funny enough, so that's a coincidence to begin with. So I'm sure we'll have lots of things to talk about. What do you like to cook?
Well, I'm trained on classic French cuisine.
All right, okay.
I started my career in Jersey in the Channel Islands, so I learned classic French mainly.
Right, okay. Brilliant. Okay. So you speak kitchen French as well?
Yeah, I know all the French terminology in kitchens. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. I worked in a couple of French kitchens a long time ago, and I used to forget what different things meant. Did you used to actually work in a kitchen where they placed in French the orders and everything?
Yes, everything was in
Yeah.
French. Some are,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that brings back memories to me, I must admit.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Okay. Okay, so to be honest, I think you would be a great fit for what we're trying to do.
Okay.
We probably could help each other in many ways. You're probably very interested in hearing how my company can help you and succeed and also reach your goals, the goals you just talked about,
Yeah.
helping you with your pension and also your current situation, obviously.
That'd be great.
Um,
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Okay. So let me just tell you a bit about us. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you some information. First of all, how much? Well, before I do that, actually, how much do you know about network marketing?
Well, I'm going to have to do a deliberate lie now, aren't I?
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
Okay.
I've heard from some people that it doesn't work. Some of my friends have tried it and they haven't done very well. But I
Okay.
don't really know that much about it.
Okay. Are you open to obviously get some information and learn a bit more about it before you make a decision or at least then you'll have an educated
Well, yeah, I'm open-minded.
mind about it. Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you some information. What I'd like you to do is take a look. It's a small video. It's not about our company. It's more about the industry. And the reason I'm sending you that is because I want you to have a real good think about how it all works. And then I'll show you how our company fits into it and what we're about. So when will you be able to look at it? Are you free this evening?
Well, yeah, I haven't got much to do, so at some point this evening I should be able to. Yeah.
Okay, let me send it over to you then in the next few minutes. And if you can look at it then, it's now, 20 past. It's only a few minutes, only about 15 minutes long. So
Yeah.
if I give you a call at 8:15, we can have a chat and then see how we can talk about what our company does and also answer any questions you have on network marketing.
Yeah, why not? I mean, the thing is, we're probably just about to have our tea, so it might be more like 9 o'clock. If you can phone me at 9, would that be all right?
Yeah, 9 would be fine. That's no problem at all.
Okay then.
Okay, so guys, what we were trying to do there is establish some sort of rapport, and the idea there is if you can and think about it, you don't have to think about it, but just think about what the person's saying. I was looking for some common ground. It just so happens that Renton's a chef and I am too. But so, for example, if I am talking to somebody because of my experience around food and it's quite extensive. I literally drill it down to a person and say, look, what country are you from? What sort of food do you like? And I'll talk about, their favorite meals because I'm probably able to cook most things. So that's how I sort of break the ice with people. And you can do it in your own way. Some people have a knack of just catching a little joke, make somebody else laugh. And if you do manage to crack a smile or make somebody laugh, it's going to make it a lot easier to converse with that person. So it's important to understand that we just make them as comfortable as possible and open and freely talk to you. Once you've got that going, it's not very difficult to control the conversation and which direction it's going. So here's the bit where you say about the company. So working with my company means having an experienced and a successful team of people supporting you every step of the way. I'll also be a resource for you, and I'd like you to consider me as your personal mentor throughout the whole process. All I ask for you is your time and commitment, and you will earn a living from home in no time. So basically, the idea is that you're showing the person that you're going to be there for them and you're going to help them and hold their hands. And understanding this whole process is also important for everyone else, even if it's very easy for you to contact and invite people, because the people you contact and invite might not have the same um, confidence, might not have the same background. So consequently, this is really for everyone to understand, including the people who find it very easy to contact people. So these are the sort of things we do. We talk to people and make it easier for them, really, at the end of the day. So okay, so then you move on. Great. Well, what we may have or may not have for you. Sorry, what we have may or may not be for you. But I can tell you that this is not one of those get-rich-quick schemes. Everyone knows that they have to invest time to reap any rewards. This is a serious money-making opportunity, and I believe you're going to love working with us. I'd like you to look over a few things to further get a better idea of what we have to offer you. And again, you see, you want to play around with this and use it with the way you see fit. But if you have the outline, you understand where it's going. So you then actually, this is after the person has looked at the first video, we've discussed that, we've come back. And whenever anybody watches any information, always ask the question, what did you like best? Always ask that question in the video you watched, because then you'll be talking about what they like best. It's always a best place to start from, according to their likes, and we're always trying to go for positive things, and then basically explain what you're going to do. So at that stage, I'd actually send them information, perhaps the company presentation, sorry. Or I might actually invite them to a presentation, which we do on a Tuesday and Thursday. Have those things in mind, have those things in your head. What happens? We've got the training, which happens for new people and old on a Monday. Then on Tuesday and on Thursday, we do presentations. But those aren't the only days. If you speak to your upline, you speak to me, to Boris, to Renton, we're around to do three-way calls and more help and support. The only reason we're doing 2 days at the moment is because we try and fill up the rooms with extra guests. As we grow, we anticipate having the presentation 7 days a week, and that will be the way we're building it. So the training is an integral part of it. Again, here, I'd like you to be my guest on a phone call. Now, with the way we're building it at the moment, we're getting 3 people to join as well. It's the chance to introduce them to the person they'll be with. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you'll be letting go just because you're putting them under someone else. What it means is that you're still the person or the go-to person, unless the person you're putting them with is a very experienced person. So again, it's important to understand that. So basically, you make dates with people. That's the other thing. It's important to make a date with everything. So notice I said to Renton, I'll be calling him back at a certain time to actually discuss the video. If you do this, what you're doing is actually decreasing the amount of time it takes from the time you actually speak to the person to the time they're ready to join. Because sometimes the longer you leave it, the excitement factor or the person being interested sometimes goes out. So it's important to keep it as short as possible. We say about 3 or 4 days. Some people will take longer, and that's fine, because we're not forcing people to join. We're actually helping them to understand what they're joining and get them going as soon as possible so they can start making some money as soon as possible. So we'll be sending things like a follow-up email and information. All this will be recorded so you can actually look at it in your own time, start the video. We're going to show you different ways of actually contacting people. And as we develop this training process, we're going to be doing little quizzes at the end to just check that people have understood how it all works, really. So the process is to teach, to do, and then to learn or quiz people to find out whether they know everything. So that's the sort of process, and that's the process we're going to follow for the what we call coaching new people into the business. Once we fine tune it, we'll break it down even more, and it'll be easier for you to appreciate how it's done. The next step we'll be covering next week, but currently we have videos in our video collection that go through the whole process in smaller amounts. And I think Renton sends that out to everyone when new people join. Yes, is that right, Renton? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Anything you want to add to that before we move on to your You're
No,
fit.
that was really good.
Okay, so what we're going to cover now, again, it's an important feature, is what people go through, or what people go through without knowing, and things we need to cover with people prior to them rushing out. Because generally what happens is people get excited about this, they see the presentation, they're suddenly thinking, okay, I'm going to make loads of money now, I want to tell everyone in the world about it, but they haven't actually fully understood everything. It's early days, and it's the excitement that they're running on, not the actual processes. So Renton's going to cover something called SNIOP, which I'll let him talk about, and then a few other bits. And then what we'll do is we'll open up the room to anybody who wants to pass any comments or anything. So away with you, Renton. Thank you. And by the way, Renton's doing a fantastic job. He's part of my training team, and we've got 3 people now. And we've known each other quite a few years, and yeah, I've seen him work, and he's very good at it. Okay, over to you, Renton.
Thank you very much. So what I want you to start with, first of all, is writing SNIOP, one letter under the other. And next to those, I want you to put susceptible, if you could spell it, susceptible to the negative influence of other people. And that's SNIOP. Okay. Now, before I go heavily into SNIOP, I just want you to know the importance of planning first and taking a moment to plan properly before you get started. Like in any business, be it a conventional business or any business, you have to plan properly. And that is, don't just think you know what you've got to do. So we're here to really give you the training on how to start properly, because you could start wrongly as well. So fail to plan, you'll plan to fail. So we as a team, we want to prepare you to expect what's going to happen on your journey. So I'm going to do an analogy of it like a little bit of a train journey. So I live in Bath, and let's say I've boarded the train in Bath, and let's imagine I've just signed up into Epic, and I'm starting my journey starting from Bath. So I'm going to go from Bath to Chippenham to Swindon on my route to London. So let's imagine you just signed up and the journey is beginning now. Okay, if somebody's contacted you, they've told you about it, they've explained to you how it works, they showed you the presentation, and you've just boarded the train. So you're excited. You've seen an opportunity which is going to be going to change your life. The possibility of the high incomes excites you. Okay, but hang on a minute, we've just got to plan first. So let's plan first. So you're boarding the train, and the train started moving. At this point, we would say to you, step 1, learn and listen to the 4 videos that we promote. And that is, those 4 videos comprised of, and they're on Derek's YouTube channel, which you need to subscribe to if you want to get all of these videos. And I'd say, listen to the first 30 days, inviting, presenting, and what's the other one? Yes, that's right. There's 4. There's four videos on there. I think there's 5, a 5th coming soon. So between Bath and Chippenham, which is the first stop, you've listened to those 4 videos. So you know how to get started properly now. Listen to those a couple of times each. So you've arrived at Chippenham, and that's the first station. So you've listened to them. Now you arrive and you're ready to start inviting people to see your business. And this is your business. It's not my business. It's not Boris's. It's not Derek's. It's your business. So, but we are helping you to learn how to get it off the ground properly. And there's a right way and there's a wrong way. So what's happening now is you've learned how to do the inviting. You've learned how to speak to people and what to say through using those videos. And every new person that joins should get those videos sent straight to them, because you just say to them, don't talk to anybody yet, because you've got to watch these to train you. This is new people. Some of you know exactly what to do because you're experienced in this type of business, but I still listen to those on a regular basis to keep myself keep myself humble, to keep myself on track. I don't know everything. You know, I've continually through my life, I think, I don't know everything. I've got to keep revising it. So you've arrived at that first station, and now you're starting to invite people. So you've contacted some people, you sent out some links, you sent out your presentation, you sent out some contacts, and all of a sudden, somebody's pulled the emergency stop on you. And the reason for that, because people have said something to you that you have never heard before. And it's human nature. And I'm going to go through some of the things you may have heard when you started inviting people. So you've just got to be prepared for some of those negative influences you're going to get from other people. And you've got to just say, that's not going to deter me from my dreams. That's not going to deter me from my goals. I have a goal and I have a reason. And this is why one of those videos on YouTube is called "What is your why?" And if you've got to know your why before you even start, you've got to know your why. So the brakes have gone on, and it's kind of like human nature. So you started, then you stopped. And the reason for that is, and I'm going to give you a good analogy of that, right? How people can be susceptible to negative influence. Have you ever been to a restaurant and you've had a starter and then you've had a main course? And then when it comes, let's say there's 6 of you at a table. And there's 6 of you at a table and you've all eaten your starter, you've all eaten main course, and you look at the dessert menu, you really fancy having a dessert, right? But the other 5 people on the table said, no, I really don't want a dessert. And the second person said, no, I don't want a dessert either. 4th and 5th person said, no, I don't want a dessert either. What are you thinking then? You're thinking, well, because 5 people on the table out of 6 of us don't want a dessert, I'm going to feel a bit embarrassed asking for dessert. Nobody else wants to. And psychologically, that's a negative influence from other people. Do you understand what I mean by that? You might have been in that situation where you actually wanted a dessert, but because 5 other people on your table said, I don't want a dessert, you kind of felt, well, I won't have one either then. And I've been in that same situation myself. Okay. So you've spoken to 5 people. You're 5 people on your list, and this is something they might have said to you, right? I wouldn't touch that with a barge pole. Has anyone had that? Maybe. Looks like a scam to me. It looks like pyramid selling to me. That's got to be illegal. That looks too good to be true. We've all had these, haven't we? And I've seen these sort of things before and they don't work. Now, incredibly, these are the things that have made your brakes go on that emergency stop at Chippenham, because you were excited and suddenly it's put the brakes on. And that's because somebody who thinks they know all about the multi-level marketing industry has told you what they know about it. Okay, now if you're a new person, this is what you're going to have to get through. So at that point, you've got doubts. So do you get off at this station now and quit? Or do you stay on the train and continue on your journey, not based on other people's opinions of what you're doing? It's a really important part of it, because some people do get blown away by that and think, oh, everyone seems to know better than me. So you're feeling wounded, you're feeling rejected, and the first thing 10 people you contact were giving you negatives. And the point about it is they're not actually saying no to you, they're saying no to the opportunity. And they probably want you to be successful. And they might say to you, it's not for me, but good luck, because it looks like this, it looks like that. It's probably not for me, but good luck. But actually, they want you to be successful, but this is the key. They don't want you to be more successful than them. Okay? They don't want you to be more successful than them. And that's the way it goes. That's human nature. And also they think they're protecting you from an environment where there are illegitimate, scammy type businesses out there. So they're trying to protect you from those things. But you've done your research, you've done your homework, you know about our company, and I've never seen anything better than this in 30 years. I've got to tell you that. But they do think they know best, and it may even be that they've failed in multi-level marketing in the past before. But you've got to assure them that multi-level marketing works. And if I can just tell you why it works, and there's evidence of that because I recently read an article that commissions paid out in multi-level marketing in 2020. Now we're moving into 2021. 41.6 billion was paid out in commissions in 2020. 41.6 billion in commissions in 2020 in 1 year. That's 3.47 billion per month is paid out in multi-level marketing companies per annum. That's 800 million a week. People are getting paid in commissions from operating their multi-level marketing businesses. Per day, that is 114 million per day. 79,000 an hour is being paid out in commissions to multi-level marketing companies. And every minute, that's 1,319 per minute is being paid out in commissions to people in multi-level marketing, no matter which company it is. That's across the board. Now, Epic, I heard this news today, Epic is 126 days old, 126 days only, and they've already paid out 10 million in commissions. 10 million in 4 months. That's just unheard of in this industry. It's so exciting, it's unbelievable. And since I've been talking, and for the last 11 minutes, multi-level marketing companies throughout the industry have paid out 185,000 in the last few minutes I've been on here. And it works. So don't take any notice of the naysayers and the people that don't feature. Do not be SNIOP. Do not be SNIOP. You're stronger than that. You're better than that. You've got a mind of your own. So make the decision and stick with your decision for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Just got to stick with it. Finally, my last 4 minutes, I'm going to talk about delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is, first of all, no pain, no gain. We all have heard of no pain, no gain. You don't go through it, you don't get the reward. So no pain, no gain. And in my previous company, I made a very high income. I built a very big team. And I can tell you now, it took me 1.5 years to sign up my first person. And some people in this team, or some of your people in your team are thinking, well, why haven't I signed anybody up yet? I've been in a week. It took me 1.5 years to sign up my first person in the company I was with last time. But I used to say to myself, why me? Why is everybody else being successful? Why can't I be successful? Why is everyone saying no to me? Because I had, and I'll tell you why, because I had a stinking attitude. I was the village idiot. I was the drunk of the village idiot, and nobody took me seriously. So it took me a long time to grow personally. So I was prepared myself mentally to be able to do it. So it took me 1.5 years to do that. So I was patient enough to wait. And I used to blame everything else but me. But it was actually me that had the problem. It wasn't, all the other people had the good attitude that I was looking for. So I decided I had to grow and learn. And this is what these trainings are about. You've got to grow and learn. So after 2.5 years, I had 150 people in my team. Now, I wasn't making any money after 2.5 years. Now I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is just like, I might as well have bought a restaurant. That would have cost me 100,000 quid to start a restaurant. But then After 3 years, I'd signed up 26 people personally. So that was after 3 years. And after 5 years, I had a team of over 1,500. And after 6.5 years, I had a team of over 2,500. And then I was making seriously good money. But do you see how many people would wait that long? How many people would be determined enough? And that's exactly what I was saying about the long term. The company then terminated our leaders, took away our training system. We had no training, therefore no business. If you've got no training, you have no business. And this is what this is about. This is training. In your job, you've got to be trained. In network marketing, you've got to be trained. So no matter what happens, you've got to be trained. So I went from a high income to nothing overnight. And how many people would have the guts to dust themselves off and get up and do something else? It was quite a tough moment in my life, but you've just got to do it again and again and again. And that's tenacity and determination. So instant gratification, wanting it now, it's a killer. It's just going to kill you off. Choose what's comfortable. Choosing what's comfortable doesn't bring you forward. If it's uncomfortable, pursue it because it's worth it. All right, that's what I can say on that. So I've covered SNIOP. I've taken 15 minutes and 32 seconds. So I've done on that subject. I'm going to pass you, I think I'm going back to Derek first, and then Boris is going to speak, and then we're going to have a few testimonials.
Thank you, Renton. That was really, really good. It really reminded me of a few things as well. And guys, you know, it's important to understand that sometimes when you speak to people, they're just ignorant of the facts. I've been in this industry 35 years now, and all the way along, from brothers, sisters, family members, you know, you get all kinds of people putting you down or trying to put you down because you're not doing what they call a normal job. Well, I worked a normal job, and I tell you what, I'm in a situation now where I can't believe it. In such a short space of time, by March, that's when I'm furloughed till, I may not be able to go back to work. Not because I can't, but because I might not want to, and that's something else. I just didn't think it would happen this quick. I really didn't.
You're going brilliant, man.
Yeah. So I remember when I was in Amway many, many years ago, we used to talk about a 2 to 5 year plan. I think it's going to be a lot faster with what we've got. But what I can say as well is that, you know, we've got some brilliant people coming on board, and, you know, the caliber of people joining. We've got actually a guy who joined, because we're in the trading business, we also have traders coming on board. Why might a good professional trader want to come on board? Because they actually have to watch every single trade every single minute, and it's very stressful. So a trader comes on board to lighten the load and earn some residual income. We've got a guy here in the UK. He's a top 5% earner in trading in the UK. So he's making mega bucks, but I've got a video on my site with him speaking actually. And he tells the story. He said, you know, I need the residual income. We've got people. I've got a director who joined. He's a lecturer in business at Manchester University. Plus, he owns a lot of. He's a director on a lot of boards. He must be earning over 100 grand. Again, he's got very, very little time. And I know a lot of you can relate to that because I had very little time when I was in my job. And he wants to buy back time. He wants to also get a residual income. If he stopped working for 3 months, there'd be no income, regardless of what director he is, etc. Unless he's got massive savings, his outgoings are a lot more than the average person, because sometimes what happens is you grow with your lifestyle. Your lifestyle grows with your income, rather. And I've been there. I've been there and I've done it, so I understand exactly how it works. I had the cars, I had the house, I had the gardener, I had everything, the gravel drive, everything. And I tell you what, when you earn the sort of money I'm earning now from furlough and from Epic, but the outgoings are far less because I've sort of learned that I don't necessarily need the things I did have. I remember, just a quick story, my wife and I would go around the house closing all the doors because we only lived in one room. My daughter had gone off to university, and I was there wondering what to do in such a big house. And we'd even closed the 3 rooms that we had, the front rooms, because we could only light one fire at a time. Again, it was just the 2 of us. And I thought, what am I doing this for? And we got a gardener coming around once a week, you know, because the hedge is 20 foot high and all the rest of the garden. It's just crazy. But when you begin to realize what things are important for you, you begin to realize how you can actually, by compounding your wealth or compounding your earnings, you can actually do very, very well. I do love holidays, so I don't mind if I'm traveling most of the year. That's something I look forward to. Once this lockdown comes out, I think we've got quite a few countries. Renton and I have been talking about some of the countries we're in, and we're thinking, why not have some leadership meetings in other countries where other people are, you know, and it'll be cheaper as well, probably by then. So anyway, what I wanted to do now, really, before I pass on to Boris at the end, is ask Brenton to introduce his new starter who's just joined us, who's got a little story to tell, and then we'll move over to Boris after that. Thank you, Brenton.
Yeah, well, I've been talking to Derek and Nick about this opportunity for about 3 months, and they've just been ignoring me. So eventually Derek said, yeah, okay, I'll have a look at it. And Derek, myself and Nick Burton, we're all good mates. And I want to introduce Nick Burton. Is, to me, a very special person. He's got a tremendous story, and I respect him, I admire him. Everything about him is the most respected person in London, I think, and he's got a tremendous story, and we love him. He's tremendous. So, Nick, do you want to give us 5 minutes on what you've done and your little story and why you've joined Epic?
Hello, everybody. Yeah, it's. I mean, we've been friends since the 90s. Renton, Derek, and I, and yeah, I don't know how to put it. My story is about not giving up and getting knocked down, but getting up again. So I'm not a public speaker, but I've done so much over the last few years, because I've done the home to work to home. I worked as a catering as a catering manager for hospitals. So I only know 7 different dishes, and they're all on toast. But I manage the system. But lately, over the last few years, some things have happened to me which have brought it home. How special friendships are and how special life is. So I actually lived in Grenfell Tower, so up on the 19th floor, and I got rescued along with my wife. So my wife and I got rescued from the tower. I don't know if you know Grenfell Tower. It's the tower in 2017. Within 20 minutes, a fire went from the 4th floor up to the 24th floor and wrapped around and killed 72 people. So my wife and I got rescued, but my wife died a little later in hospital. So she's number 72 as part of the Grenfell tragedy. And yeah, it was very challenging times, but I kind of come out of hospital to look for my wife because we got separated. And then, of course, I found an Epic house like this. Sorry, that's the door now. And can I just pause for 1 second because the dog's going to start barking?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, just give me 1 second, please.
Okay,
Sorry,
no problem.
you. Thank you. Dog, next. Hello. Sit down, sit down, sit down, sit. So I've got a new dog. Apologies.
That's all right.
It's all sorted. So So I came out of the fire, and my wife was still alive, but she never came out of hospital. And what I did, we started a thing called Grenfell United. So a group of us, we went around looking for everybody that lived in the tower. And then we made an organization just to look after each other, where the authorities and everybody just abandoned us on the street. So you'd think there'd be a massive, Red Cross come look after everybody as they come out of the tower, but they didn't. Everybody just dispersed onto the street. And over the next few days, it was actually only the community that picked us up and looked after us. So we made Grenfell United. And by the Friday, I had a meeting with the Prime Minister, Theresa May at the time, but that got disrupted by the community people on the street. So I went to Downing Street on the Saturday, and then from then on, we had a straight direct line into Theresa May, as we were kind of trying to pick ourselves up and look for each other. So we built this organization, Grenfell United, to look after each other. So then I had a check over, and they checked me over and they said, actually, your heart is severely leaking, and we're going to have to do an emergency open heart surgery. You're actually lucky to be alive now. So they cut me open, 6 days in intensive care, and then I had a second operation to give me a pacemaker. And a few months later, my wife passed away. So it was just very difficult because, everybody, Renton, Derek and my wife, 33 years together. And then a few months later, my mum passed away. So yeah, it was a challenging time. So you get knocked down time and time again. But during those times, we did so much to challenge, power. So I had a lot of meetings behind the scenes. We had a lot of people supporting us. We had offices in with a gentleman called David Joseph, a very powerful guy. He's the CEO of Universal Music, and I got introduced to him, and he gave us some offices. But the government had us running around, but we thought that we're not going to run around, so you're going to come to us. So we had some big meetings with the Prime Minister, Sajid Javid, Nick Hurd, all the ministers. We went to Parliament, we protested, we had meetings with everybody to make sure that the survivors and the community, because we found out that 11,000 people were going to well-being, to mental health thing for watching that tower burn. And but then at the end of 2018, after fighting every single day, my wife dead, my mum dead, and fighting for everybody to get housing, I'm definitely a fighter now, don't worry. And I drank a bottle of wine, and and I thought, I need to get away. I need to get away. So by the thing, I just went online. The first one that came up was Flight Centre. I gave them a call. I said, I need to go away. And I booked I booked travel, and I went traveling for 9 months to 23 countries, 38 flights. And I just winged it. I just picked the flights, and then when I arrived, get Wi-Fi, find a hotel, and then I went visiting all the places you can think of, for the Great Wall of China. I went off and all the things that I wanted to do, all the dreams, that, even with Renton and Derek, people talk about all the holiday dreams, and you think, I'm going to do it now. I'm just going to, go and do it. So I flew to New York. I went and sat on the beach in Barbados, and then in the Bahamas. And I think there's a running joke, like everything that you're going through can be cured if you sit 2 weeks on the beach in the Bahamas. And it happened. So I went to the Bahamas, up and down Florida, up and down California. I flew off to Hawaii, Mexico, Peru, Machu Picchu, Chile, Argentina. Then I flew to New Zealand. I drove around the South Island of New Zealand and North Island. And the South Island, you ever go there, is absolutely stunning. I mean, that driving for 2 or 3 hours, not seeing another car in solace is fantastic. I just need that to get my head clear. went off to Australia, swam on the Great Barrier Reef, went to Sydney, Melbourne, flew off to Thailand, went around Cambodia, Vietnam, Hong Kong, Beijing, Shanghai, South Korea, 3 weeks in Japan, flew to Singapore, went off to Sri Lanka. It's a very nice place. Went around India, Namaste, it's very nice. Then I went to see the Taj Mahal. My wife would have just loved that. And off to Mumbai, then I flew off to Mauritius, sat on the beach again. Then I thought, okay, I'll go off to South Africa, went on safari. I drove the garden route from Port Elizabeth to Cape Town. And then I went to Addis Ababa. We had a tour around Addis Ababa and the outskirts. Went off to Egypt, done the pyramids, and off to Jordan. I went to Petra. Have you ever seen that, like Indiana Jones? Fantastic. Swam in the Dead Sea, and then came home to surprise my sister on Halloween. So, but I just needed to do that, and as part of that, every single country that I went to, I visited fire stations and spoke to firefighters, and I saw the scale of the scandal that is going on. And you might know about the cladding scandal that's going on all around the country at the moment, and we're fighting. Every single day is a Grenfell day for me, and we're fighting, we're writing letters, we're protesting. I've done so many things. I've been TV things, and I've done morning thing in New Zealand on TV, and just other things, articles. So every day we're fighting. And then yeah, it's just been amazing. I've come back, put on weight over this time, and but this business just sounded something like, actually, I really don't want to go back to work. I haven't actually worked. My last day of work was the 12th of August 2016. I handed in the keys for my job, and because my wife had dementia, and social services would not, or nobody would help me, and I had to keep my wife alive. So yeah, so I handed the keys and to look after. So I haven't worked since. And then, of course, when Renton, Derek, approached me, we know about network marketing, and the things I've learned from Renton and Derek it's been invaluable for my own life. Before, when they met me, I was very shy, very quiet, and I've had to learn. The thing is, the training was the key. The friends and the people, and whiteboards and driving the miles and looking suspicious, putting one box from the back of a car into another one, and it all was. But I loved it. And the first place I went was actually to Renton's house in Bath. With a group of people, excited, but the training was the key for me to encourage myself to read and to grow and to be around positive people. And when I said about this, and this just looked, it's too easy. You guys better brace yourselves, because I'm going to run with this. So, but I've had an interesting story, and it's still not finished. We're fighting. We just had a court case in America where the cladding company, they spent over $50 million fighting us to get the case sent back to Britain, which they succeeded. But their reputation is tarnished. They put this illegal cladding. We're fighting installation companies. We're trying to help the people around the country with their cladding, leaseholders. You see it every day on the news. And this scandal would be absolutely huge on the front pages, except just for a couple of little things, which was Brexit, COVID, and the craziness that was happening in America that was covering television. But for this country, this is absolutely massive. So I'm right in the midst of all of that. So at the moment this week, I'm demanding the council to put a rent cap for the next 5 years in RBKC, the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea, and then they're going to spread it around the whole of the country to give people a breather. So I'm in the midst of a lot of things. So, but being busy, I think, as these guys have taught me, busy people get things done. So I always complained at work, like, why me? I'm busy. Yeah, now I know, my boss. So yeah, so this for me is absolutely fantastic, and it's yeah, I think it's going to be great.
Good timing for you, Nick, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something I can, do. And, Grenfell, hopefully, one day I won't be Nick from Grenfell,
You'll be epic.
but, that'll be kind of finished and all in the things, and things will be good. But I will be getting a monthly check for $1 million.
That was great dream building for everybody.
Right, yeah. Thank you very much, Nick. That was great. That was good to hear.
Brilliant.
And I look forward to working with you. We all do. So, okay, well, let me just tell you a bit about the next person who's going to quickly say a few words. Without him, I wouldn't be here. Without him, none of us would be here. And we've known each other about 20 years. So probably just after I met Renton about 30 years ago. But the thing is, Boris has been a very, very good friend of mine. We've been working in different industries. We've worked with some companies, we've worked together, some companies we haven't. So we've done so well in some and not so well in others. And some companies collapsed and some didn't. And I always say to people, if they ask you, and say to you, oh, it's not network marketing or anything, and I've had a bad experience. And if they say that to me, I said, well, have you ever had a bad meal in a restaurant? Did it stop you going out to restaurants? I mean, that's my key line on that. And I always use food because I'm a foodie. So so that's the big one I use. I always say, did it stop you going out to restaurants? And then people say no. Well, and then that's why I think you should have another look. And I've actually converted people who actually were quite negative about network marketing. And I think the key thing there is to be honest and sincere with people. And if you're actually honest and sincere with them, and that they know you've got their best interest at heart, then generally you'll win over. That's the whole point. You really need to. And just to go back again, when I was in Amway, I only got to the direct level. But yeah, some people say that's a lot. I didn't think it was a lot because I saw people like Renton go across stage, and Andy and all the rest. I was actually Jerry and Andy's team. I was only 3 down below them, and in fact, I think Chris Pilot, who I used to see regularly, he was in the room a little while ago, but he was one of the people I used to speak to. So what I was going to say was that the day I crossed stage for direct in Wembley, I remember that day very, very succinctly, and Andy also said to me. The guy who was, sorry, what's his surname again? Andy, remind me. Galloway, that's it. Andy Galloway said to me, he remembered me going across stage because I went with my wife, and I got to the mic and I couldn't utter a single word, and she had to do all the talking. So, it's taken me a while to be able to talk. So the point I'm trying to make is if I can do it, anyone can really.
Stage in the future.
Yeah. So anyway, so what I'd like to do is pass over to Boris, who's my mentor and friend, who's helped a lot with my self-development and various other bits. And yeah, over to you, Boris.
Thanks a lot, buddy. And I want to say massive respect to Nick for sharing his story. It's like, it's very moving. It's it's not just like a story of overcoming, but story of leadership. And we're in the leadership business, and I think this is so important for all of us. It's like there is lessons that we can learn every single day. He mentioned that he didn't wait for the government. He went out and started basically taking care together with all the people that he suffered around. This is leadership. This is leadership. And we all have a choice in life, like either basically to wait for something to happen to us, or for us to go out and make things happen for basically the way we want to change them. So again, like massive respect, Nick. This is a very moving story, and it's very touching, and I'm really blessed to be here in this training to learn from you. What I want to just to touch on that is like I want to say this: people are coming from all kind of different backgrounds, and some people have massive influence based on their experience past and present. And other people who are not going to have this massive influence. So here's what we all need to understand. If we don't have an influence, or if we can imagine influence on a scale from 0 to 10, and let's just assume that we're at a very low scale, 1 or 2, this means that we need more training how we can increase the value in ourselves so we can give more value to people. What Nick just was sharing with you from where he came and what he started to do, how he started to add more value basically to the communities and to basically all the people in it. This is just a like extreme example of leadership. Now, if you think that you and every one of us, we're our own brand. And if we want to grow our brand, like in a traditional business, we need to focus on the value that our brand represent every single day. So the only way we can grow our brand value is to grow what we can contribute, not what we can take. This is a big mistake that people are making coming to the industry. They think they're coming, and because they're paying a monthly fee, now they can start collecting. And it's like the story of sowing and reaping. Nobody can reap before it can start to sow. And what we're sowing here in the business is really, business is one thing, making someone else's life better. So this someone can be a customer, could be a business partner, could be a person that is not gonna even join us as a customer or a business partner. But if we carry the value and the heart of a serving basically leader, we'll look every day in any way how we can help people and how we can add value, not necessarily in financial terms, but like emotional terms, like how we can support people, encourage them, empower them to be more in order to achieve more. So I started with this, that some people have like natural influence, and like they come and like it's almost like they're flying in the business, and people see them and they say, wow, I want to do this. And then they get disappointed because they cannot do this. Not because they're bad people, simply because they don't have this kind of influence. So in order for all of us to grow our influence, we have to keep on adding more deposits every single day, like in the bank account. Like if the bank account is empty and you have nothing to show up, if you start basically adding deposits every single day, it's just a matter of time through consistency and persistence for you to start to build your account. Well, the same is true for your brand and for your value. So I want to encourage all of you to keep on coming to the trainings every Monday. Every morning, we do 7 days a week, masterminds. Those masterminds are open basically to everyone. We don't charge anyone to participate. They're just basically for us learning from the best in the industry. And they're at 5 o'clock in the morning because we want to stretch. No one can basically achieve greatness unless they get out of their comfort zone. So the only reason we're going like extreme 5 o'clock and not 7 in the evening or 8 in the evening, where we can chill out and like have a glass of wine like Renton, is we want to get out of this comfort zone in order for us to grow. But how we start our day determine basically what we can do in the day and how we're going to finish the day. So if you think about this, every month, if you want to succeed the month, is how you're going to start the month, how you're going to prepare to start the month. And then you break the month down by weeks, and it's to win the week, you have to win the day. And to win the day, you have to win the morning that you're waking up early. And I saw yesterday like an amazing quote. If you cannot wake up half an hour earlier for your dream, then maybe this is not the right dream for you. And I want to leave you with this. Back to you, Derek.
Thank you, Boris. So guys, you might need bigger dreams. So think about that for a second. Okay, so just to go back on the 5 a.m. club, I resisted to join the mastermind for quite a while. But I tell you what, it's probably put me a month or 2 in advance of where I would have been. That's all I'm saying on it. Okay, so good night, guys. Thank you for sharing. We look forward to your guests arriving in the presentations on Tuesday and Thursday. Get in touch with the Upline if you want any other presentations during the week, including Boris, myself, Renton. And good to have you on board, and look forward to working with you all. Thank you very much and good night.